Welcome to an overview of the historical artifacts investigation. In this investigation, you're trying to figure out how to respond to the question, which sources are most reliable for learning about the dodecahedron? Today, as you begin learning about the dodecahedron, instead of memorizing names and dates from a textbook, which is really hard and not particularly interesting, you will instead read and hear several different perspectives. You'll discuss with your classmates and then make your own decision about what it all means. Read, inquire, write lessons are called investigations. Throughout each investigation, you're looking for evidence to figure out how to respond to a central question. You'll notice that our investigations never say answer a central question. Instead, you'll hear us ask you to respond to a central question. That's because we believe there is not one right answer. There could be multiple answers. So we want you to respond to the question with evidence. Read, inquire, write investigations support you in building a case for your argument using evidence and reasoning. Over time, this kind of work will strengthen your reading, writing, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. In this investigation, you're trying to respond to the central question, which sources are most reliable for learning about the dodecahedron? Before you can answer that question, you're probably asking, what is a dodecahedron? This is a Roman dodecahedron. It has 12 sides, and each side has a circular hole in the middle, although the holes are not all the same size. They are found all over Roman sites in France, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Artifacts like the dodecahedron are sometimes found in historical sites, and historians can't agree what they were used for. Different sources tell us different things about the dodecahedron. This investigation provides you with several sources about the dodecahedron. Now I'll tell you about your task during this investigation. The teachers in a nearby school district are planning a lesson about the dodecahedron. They want to include sources that are useful and trustworthy for learning about it. The teachers claim that the sources by Guggenberger, Hallett, and Lewis are all useful and trustworthy for understanding the dodecahedron. You will also read these sources. After reading these sources, your task is to write to the teachers to critique the sources they should not use. This kind of writing is called a critique. A critique is a type of argument that responds to someone else's argument by pointing out what may be wrong with it and why. Our investigation guides you to develop your argument step by step. Let's review those steps now. First, you'll begin by building background about historical artifacts, like the dodecahedron, and you will learn how historians interpret these artifacts. Next, your teacher will provide you with 3 different sources to read about the dodecahedron. You'll use these sources to make your argument about which sources are the most reliable for learning about the dodecahedron. To help you read these sources, your teacher will provide you with this bookmark. The bookmark tool will help you understand, analyze, and evaluate sources about the dodecahedron. The bookmark prompts you to make annotations or detailed notes about the sources. You'll do this as you read and after you read. For example, in this source, you can see that a student has circled and boxed important information in this article on the dodecahedron. The student also made notes about what those circles mean. You will do the same on your sources, and the bookmark tool will guide you. Making these annotations is really important because they will help you remember key ideas in the sources. This way you don't have to try to remember everything or have to reread everything later. Instead, these annotations will make it easier to write to the teachers later because you will use the annotations as you write your critique of the teacher's sources. In step 3, you will read and analyze a mentor text. A mentor text is a sample of writing that shows you one way to organize and write a critique-style argument. It includes important parts such as claim, evidence, and reasoning. It's a good example of the way you can structure your own letter to the teachers. Just remember that the mentor text is not exactly what you'll write, and it is not a source. The mentor text is one example of what your essay might look like. Next, you'll use the planning graphic organizer. The graphic organizer is like a roadmap for your essay. It helps you organize your ideas about which sources are reliable for learning about the dodecahedron, and it will prompt you to give evidence and reasoning to support your argument. You will use all of the work you've done so far to help you develop this roadmap. You'll look at your annotated sources and you'll determine what argument you think is strongest, and then make decisions to plan the essay you'll write. Then in step 5, you're ready to write your essay and respond to the central question, which sources are most reliable for learning about the dodecahedron? Be sure to use the sources you have read to write your letter to the teachers. We know it's sometimes difficult to start writing. That's why we also include a useful language tool. You can look at this tool to choose from examples of how to start your claim, evidence, and reasoning. Finally, after you have spent some time writing, pause to use the reflection tool. The reflection tool will help you review what you have written so far and set goals for your next steps. The reflection tool reminds you about what to include in your argument. Let's review the 6 steps you'll take throughout this investigation. First, build background. Second, read and analyze sources using the bookmark tool. Third, analyze the mentor text. Fourth, complete the planning graphic organizer, deciding on the argument you will make. Fifth, use the useful language tool as you draft your essay. Sixth, review and improve your essay using the reflection tool. As you work through the investigation, make sure to talk with your classmates and others who can support you as you learn about and respond to the central question, which sources are most reliable for learning about the dodecahedron? Good luck!